Good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a beautiful day today. The energy that I've been channeling has really just been kind of intense today. It feels almost like this emotional roller coaster that the Twin Flame Collective has been going through. So that is what I want to take a deeper look into and see kind of what might be going on here. So I will start with my Gilded Tarot Royale deck and just see what comes through. As I shuffle the cards, you can also set your own intentions for this reading. Spirit, what do we need to know for the Twin Flame Collective at this time? I can really feel the emotional, significant ups and downs within my own body, within my own system as I'm shuffling, and this deck really feels like it's holding back. And that is definitely the energy that I am channeling on both the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine sides here. Like, there is a lot that needs to be said. There is a lot that they are desiring to say, but they are just not coming out with it. So the first card that fell up in the face-up position is the Ten of Wands. So I just heard Spirit say the burden of guilt. And this definitely very strongly feels like a Divine Masculine energy here. So we have the World and the Seven of Wands both in the reverse position. So over here, I just heard Spirit say hindered growth, and I can't defend myself. I heard a Divine Masculine step in to say I can't defend myself. So hindered growth here definitely makes sense with the World card, because this is the card in the deck that speaks to growth and expansion, emotionally, psychologically, financially, whatever area of life you might be worried about. This World card in the upright position would be a very positive indicator of that growth taking place as it should. Over here, I feel like there is some sort of external factor that's really being emphasized by this card here, like these 6 wands that are flying up at this person. I'll hold it upright so you guys can see. There is definitely some external factor, either some form of peer pressure or third-party pressure, that is not allowing this masculine to be true to himself. So not being able to be true to himself is potentially what is causing this masculine to feel as though he cannot defend himself. Spirit, can I get some clarification? What is this Divine Masculine trying to defend himself against? What is it that this Divine Masculine needs to defend himself from? Okay. The Six of Swords, and also kind of a semi-sideways and semi-reverse position. So this is very synchronistic because this card also indicates forward movement, but in the reverse position, it represents stagnancy, that there is a sense of desiring to move forward, as this Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck indicates that there is a strong desire for forward movement. It's just not being able to manifest. Here, though, we have the Emperor in the upright position. So as these difficulties are being faced by this Divine Masculine, this frustration that is being caused by his inability to grow, his inability to defend himself and move forward towards the life he desires, the Emperor, I just heard Spirit say, being awoken. So this Emperor within the Divine Masculine is being awoken. This is actually what this frustration and stagnancy is leading him to. Victory. This Divine Masculine is so close to overcoming all of these obstacles, all of this stagnancy. the more he is being frustrated by his inability to move forward, the closer he's getting to victory, because he is about to hit his flashpoint. I just heard a divine masculine step in to say, I can't take it anymore. So that definitely is a strong indicator that he's not going to put up with this much longer. Three of Pentacles, I just heard Spirit say, I'm being shaped from the inside. So this divine masculine, through these difficulties, is really being shaped from within to be the emperor that is within him, just kind of napping right now, or not even in hibernation mode. He's actually getting pretty close to accessing that emperor mode within him. He used to be asleep within this masculine, but now this emperor is definitely waking up. The Two of Cups. So what I'm seeing here is a choice that this divine masculine is on the brink of making. And I do believe, because along with the Two of Cups, there's also this rift here in the middle between, what the divine masculine wants and where he's at right now. So this to me indicates some form of a third-party connection that this divine masculine is on the brink of making the decision to end, to walk away from. What else do we need to know, Spirit? I just heard a divine masculine step in to say, I promise you my cup of love. If rainbows have any kind of a significance in your connection, then this could definitely resonate for you. However, there is a rainbow over here as a sign of a promise of better times, better days to come. So this divine masculine on a higher self level has already promised his divine feminine his cup of love. It is simply a matter of divine timing at this point of when he will be able to step forward. The Justice card came out in the upright position. This divine masculine is coming into balance. There is something about him, I do feel, on an emotional level, potentially psychological level, that is a little out of balance and needs balancing at this time, but that is also being worked out behind the scenes here. We have the Sun card. This has so much positive energy and so many positive connotations to this card that as these scales come into balance, there is so much positive energy that is going to be entering this divine masculine. I do get a strong sense energetically that he is trapped in a lot of negative energy, a lot of toxic energy here, as indicated by this Devil card. And you also see these two people dancing in the flames here. This also represents a choice. And I heard Spirit say the choice to break free. So this divine masculine is really on the brink of making that choice to break free from these toxic relationships, connections, patterns, etc. that have, I heard, holding me hostage, so that have been holding him hostage all this time. What else do we need to know here? I do feel this deck going kind of silent, so I'm going to take it to the Energy Oracle cards and see what else comes through here. What else do we need to know, Spirit, for the Twin Flame Collective, whose energy I'm connecting with at this time? Man holding a heart. Yes. So this divine masculine is finally becoming in tune with the desires of his heart, is what I'm hearing. That as I'm holding this card, energetically, I'm feeling physical actual weight within my hand of guilt that is kind of giving me a sinking feeling here. So what this allows me to understand intuitively is that there is such a heaviness of guilt within this divine masculine's heart that is not allowing him to really move forward and step forward. He is being guided to take some time to reconnect with his higher self, as highlighted by this rest and rejuvenation card here. And also the angel number 999 might be significant for those who are resonating with this reading. So he really needs to reconnect with his higher self here. At this point, he is watching his feminine from a distance. I heard social media. So this is kind of what is also, you know, keeping this masculine in a comfort zone, for lack of a better way to say it, that because he has access to, you know, the social media, even if they aren't necessarily connected on the social media, but he is able to see postings or just pictures of the feminine that in some way allow him to feel connected to her, that it's kind of keeping him trapped in this discomfort in the physical 3D, because there's comfort in the 5D of at least being able to watch this feminine from afar. And this is part of what needs to balance out, that this masculine needs to realize that he cannot stay stuck in the 5D only, longing and feeling, you know, locked out of this feminine's life, that this is truly somebody he sees, desires, and is manifesting a future with. And the fact that the Magician and the Mirror card came out here strongly indicates that this is a true twin flame connection, and this is part of this divine masculine's twin flame awakening, a spiritual awakening. This is also confirmed by the Door to Spirit card that came out here, that during this time, this divine masculine is really being put back in touch with not only his higher self, but also to higher divine powers that are guiding him. This divine masculine, I do feel like internally, intuitively knows that he is being divinely guided in this connection. And I feel like this knowledge is what is bringing him into his own power here. Strategy. So this divine masculine, as I'm tapping into his energy, I feel like he will just come up with a strategy out of the blue to communicate with his feminine. I feel like up until now, there had been such a need within this masculine to really come up with a, you know, a solid structured plan, some kind of, you know, just layout. I heard layout. So he needed some kind of a blueprint, so to speak, in order to be able to approach his feminine confidently. But I feel like this frustration and these pressures that he's been dealing with, that we talked about when the tarot cards were coming out, is what's just going to push him into picking one of those strategies, just taking some form of action in the physical 3D. Angel of Strength. So these frustrations, I'm hearing Spirit say, is helping this divine masculine find his inner strength. He is being pushed deeper into the emotion of frustration in order to find his inner strength here. And as you can see in the behavior of my cards, there were at least 3 of them that were wanting to jump out, semi-flipped over, but then just went back. And that's exactly what is happening within this divine masculine emotionally, that, you know, he's wanting to express himself, he's wanting to come forward, and he almost does it, but then he holds himself back. So these tarot and oracle cards, when I am channeling energy, definitely pick up on the energy of the counterparts that I am channeling and begin to display their behaviors in the way that they shuffle. So there are a lot of cards here that are wanting to come out, but just as these counterparts are holding back emotionally, so are the cards. Happy family. I heard unhealthy family dynamics. So part of what is keeping this divine masculine stuck in these toxic patterns that is indicated by the devil card here is unhealthy relationship dynamics that he grew up with and around in childhood. So it could be that his parents did not have a healthy relationship with one another, and therefore he does not know what a healthy relationship looks like. Yes, fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel, communication. So I heard unhealthy patterns of communication. So that could very well be it, that there could be a generational throat chakra block that this divine masculine is also dealing with, that he's learning to heal. Goddess of the moon, how synchronistic, you guys. So this divine masculine is really viewing his feminine as the total empress here. This is equivalent to the Empress card in tarot. So he does not feel worthy or qualified for approaching this divine feminine, who is such a good communicator. Like, for some reason, this divine feminine's communication abilities are really being highlighted here. And this is truly the divine masculine's ego mind talking that's keeping him stuck in these deep insecurities and is not allowing him to find his own worth and jump timelines here. And part of how he is not being able to see his own worth is the fact that he's accepting less than what he deserves in some kind of third-party situation. I don't feel like it's a romantic relationship. It could have been in the past that just has not completely been released yet. But there's something about this third party that is keeping this divine masculine stuck in some form of toxicity and codependency that truly needs to be healed. But until this divine masculine truly sees the depth of his own worth, it's going to be more difficult for him to break free from that. This is extremely synchronistic, man holding a coin. So I also heard Spirit say, unhappy with my career. So this divine masculine is also struggling with, his, not just his finances, but kind of like what he's going to do with himself in life. So I feel like there are many layers to why this divine masculine cannot fully see his own worth yet. And I feel that part of it might be that he feels he's not where he should be at this age, or he possibly feels like he had certain opportunities that he missed and he does not know how to go back and take advantage of those opportunities. Here we also have the thinking woman. So as these connections and true twin flame connections usually are mirrored, the thinking man just came out for the divine masculine, which I most strongly associate with a divine masculine being stuck in his 3D ego mind. That's exactly what the thinking woman card also indicates to me. And the fact that these two came out together strongly indicates that this divine masculine being grounded in the 3D ego mind is also triggering the 3D ego mind of this divine feminine, that potentially causes her to question whether or not her reunion is truly possible. And I feel like this divine feminine on a higher self level knows that her reunion is actually in the cards. Like, it is a meant to be connection that really cannot be avoided. And it's only a matter of divine timing and alignment, really. It's these two counterparts really being out of vibrational alignment with the vibration of union that continues to prolong this separation phase here, which is due to end sooner rather than later. But it also depends on becoming a vibrational match. If you happen to resonate with this reading and you can relate to what is being said here, then I very highly recommend my twin flame manifestation affirmations. I will leave my Instagram handle in the video description box. You can direct message me for your copy. The price up until April 7th is $55. And after that, it's going back up to $150, the normal price. So if you are resonating with these messages and you could use some tools to help you raise your vibration and align with the vibration of union with your twin flame, I definitely encourage you to take advantage of those affirmations. So as I said, I'll leave my Instagram handle in the video description box and you can DM me for your copy. So this is truly what is, keeping these counterparts in this limbo or in between phase, in between separation and reunion somewhere. I don't feel like they are in any form of active communication. However, I do feel like there are many days when this masculine almost takes that forward step and yet holds back, just as was being reflected in the behavior of these cards. Now here we have the woman holding a heart. And this to me strongly energetically seems like a third party energy that is chasing this divine masculine. And I feel that this divine masculine, for whatever reason, may feel a lack of courage in completely disconnecting from this third party. But this third party also has some very toxic and codependent habits that I'm just energetically tapping into and picking up on as I'm doing this reading, that is really just kind of keeping this divine masculine stuck, that he truly has to ascend. He truly has to raise his vibration to break free from this, because he wants to break free. Energetically, I can strongly intuitively tap into that desire of this divine masculine to break free, that he's just feeling stuck and there's really nothing else keeping him there in contact with this other karmic energy here, this third party energy, other than the fact that he lacks the courage to break free from it. So what else do we need to know about this twin flame connection, Spirit? The temple path. I just heard Spirit say we are almost home. So these twin flame counterparts truly are almost home. It's been a long journey. Energetically, I feel a lot of tiredness in these counterparts. I do feel like they are mentally, emotionally, possibly even physically and psychologically just very exhausted. So the root chakra card in the upright position came out here, which strongly speaks to the need of both of these counterparts to further strengthen their root chakra, which is going to give them a stronger spine to stand their ground, to demand from others what they deserve in a respectful way, of course, right? I mean, to set healthy boundaries is what we're trying to say here. To, set healthy boundaries, to not accept less than respect, and to give respect also. So this root chakra strengthening is what will give the internal strength to these counterparts to break away from toxic patterns, to cut off toxic ties that are also responsible for keeping them in separation here, because these karmic lessons need to be learned in order for these connections to fall away and for the divine feminine and masculine to then come into energetic and then ultimately 3D physical union here. So there is a strong sense of feeling stuck here. And I feel that this is mirrored in both counterparts. And there is also a dual energy that I'm picking up from this card. As soon as it came out, I got a wave of goosebumps and heart palpitations. So on the divine masculine side, he truly seems to be deceiving himself in the sense that he thinks it's going to be okay for him to keep suppressing what it is he desires to express that will help him break free of this toxic 3D party here, or third party here, 3D party, if I can speak today. So he's truly deceiving himself and telling himself that it's going to be okay for him to continue just putting this facade up and one day he'll be able to just walk away. That's not how it works, right? He has to resolve that connection and end it before he can successfully walk away. Because as we discussed when this card came out, this third party is truly chasing this masculine. She is not somebody that the masculine desires, but she is chasing him because she does not desire to lose him. And I just heard Spirit say trauma bond. So this divine masculine and this third party bonded due to shared trauma experiences, shared codependent patterns. And this is exactly what needs to heal. When the root chakra strengthens, then the divine masculine will be able to speak his truth. His throat chakra, which that card also came out here earlier, is going to clear. The blockages within his throat chakra are going to clear and allow him to speak his truth. That will, stop this third party from continuing to pursue him, because that truly is the entire goal here. That's the only way these counterparts can reach home, because this divine masculine truly is not one to leave things unresolved. It will bother him, is what I'm energetically picking up on here. So him being unable to speak his truth is also causing this divine feminine counterpart to feel as though her reunion might not happen, and how can she express her own feelings and truth if that communication does not come forward. Angel of love. I just heard both counterparts step in to say, I love you unconditionally. So it seems that a majority of the work here in terms of forgiveness has been done. However, the remaining triggers that continue to come about because of the 3D ego mind is truly causing hardship for these counterparts. Appreciation. Both counterparts want to know what value they hold in each other's lives. On a higher self level, they know, even on a 3D physical level, both of them somehow know this. But when the 3D ego mind is triggered, it kind of throws everything else out the window for that moment and kind of puts them into a negative loop. I just heard Spirit say rabbit hole spiral. So it could be that emotionally and psychologically these counterparts start going into that downward spiral, that negative thinking loop here that, if they allow, will just never end. So they actually consciously have to put a stop to that in order to remain psychologically healthy here. Envy. This divine masculine is truly feeling envious of any other male figure that might have access to his divine feminine. And this is what I call a delayed mirroring, because intuitively, as I'm tapping into this energy, I feel that this envy was what the divine feminine was feeling when this divine masculine shut her out of his life, shut her out of communication, and possibly just left her out in the cold. That any other female figure this masculine was speaking to was very heavily triggering that emotion of envy and hurt and grief within the feminine. And now, all this time later, this is actually being activated within the divine masculine. So that is what I call delayed mirroring, that he is kind of experiencing the same emotions, but just not at the same time as the Divine Feminine once did. What other messages, Spirit? What else can I channel here? Indecision. I just heard Spirit say you have to get out of your comfort zone. So this Divine Masculine truly, truly has to make that decision about simply communicating with his feminine. The decision is not whether or not he wants to communicate, because it is definitely established that this masculine wants to communicate. There is no doubt in any way, shape, or form energetically that I can pick up on that would indicate that this masculine wants, doesn't want to communicate with this feminine. He definitely wants to communicate with this feminine. He's just undecided on how to do that. And he is undecided on how to end his third-party connection. So these are the things that will work themselves out as the root chakra strengthens. Then there will definitely be a celebration. I definitely see families coming together here. I definitely see the counterparts celebrating one another with mutual friends that potentially in the past I feel like did not approve of their connection. If they were in any kind of a physical 3D like romantic relationship, or even potentially if this Divine Masculine brought it up to his family and friends and perhaps they did not approve of this connection, I see that there will be celebrations for this connection in the coming future. So all of those disapprovals are really about to change here in the future as these counterparts reconcile. What else do I need to channel here? Door to value. Yes. This celebration will take place once this Divine Masculine finds his own inner value. And I'm also getting a sense that this masculine is placing some weight, regarding his own value onto whether or not he is earning what he thinks he should be earning, or if his career is going a certain way. So that is healing within the masculine. Heaven is working behind the scenes, is what I'm being shown in my third eye here, to heal, to clear the throat and root chakra blockages, to clear all the blockages within the energy body, to heal these trauma bonds and wounds and codependent patterns and toxicities within these counterparts' lives. So that's truly what the healer of the ages is signifying here to me, that heaven is working behind the scenes, but the counterparts also need to do some work themselves on raising their own vibrations and aligning with what they do want, rather than hyper fixating on what they don't want and manifesting more of that. Contract, yes. So karmic contracts are about to end here. As these healings take place, those third-party contracts are going to be over. So it's all, a matter of vibrational alignment here. And Tower moments, you guys. This is equivalent to the Tower card in traditional tarot. That if the Divine Masculine keeps putting off these decisions longer, if he is not true to himself quicker, there will be Tower moments. And I'm seeing significant, like big Tower moments here, like things that could potentially just shake him to the core, that will make him, push him into making these decisions. So if he doesn't want these Tower moments to be as large or as significant in his life, then it is important for him to start working now on his own vibrational alignment, to begin his journey on his own, back home, back to his temple path, back to his divine feminine counterpart here. Action. He needs to take that action, and he needs to align himself vibrationally with the vibration of union to help him to open those doors emotionally, psychologically, and then even physically for him. Will he feel anxiety? Yes, both counterparts. This is a heavily mirrored emotion here, just like I said at the beginning of the video. It's very much like a roller coaster that these counterparts are on with their emotions, especially today. But door to personal healing and happiness. This door is standing wide open here, waiting for these counterparts to walk through. But because they're not looking up, see that? Because they're not looking up, they're not able to see that this door is standing here wide open for them. Their fear is holding them back. If you look in the background in the window here behind this feminine that's sitting in the anxiety card, you'll see that the storm is pretty much passing. You know, like the past is behind them is what I just heard Spirit say here. So it is partially fear of the past that is holding these counterparts back, but a lot of that is really being looked at, especially by the divine feminine, as water under the bridge that she's willing to move past from. But this divine masculine is having such a hard time getting over his own guilt, forgiving himself, that he can't even see that his door to romance is open here waiting for him. So it's just a matter of grounding oneself to get out of the limbic system, you know, the limbic area of the brain, and to step forward into the prefrontal cortex, which is less emotional and more for, you know, reasoning, more for logic and reasoning. So as soon as this divine masculine is kind of able to step out of that guilt, as soon as he is able to kind of forgive himself for actions and decisions that he made in the past, the faster he'll be able to align vibrationally with that. But as I said, sometimes we need tools to help us, right? So like we have certain tools within ourselves, and then we need certain external tools to help us. So if you're resonating with this reading and you feel like something like that could benefit you, I do highly recommend those affirmations. Yeah, this feeling of being all tied up, like the Eight of Swords energy here, you know, that's preventing forward movement. And this, if you even look within this picture, this person is not tied to anything. She's tied up, but she's not actually like tied to anything. So it is not that, you know, like this tree or these bushes are holding her. It's the thoughts of her own mind, the thoughts of this divine masculine's own mind, that is keeping him tied up in this toxic connection with a third party here, and keeping him from being able to walk away. Extremely synchronistic, you guys. But this walking away, whether he does it by choice or whether he waits for a giant shakeup in his life, like a real true uprooting of everything, you know, life as he knows it, I just heard Spirit say. So this tower moment can be pretty significant in this masculine's life. And I do feel like this divine masculine has had some tower moments that really have shaken him to the core already. So I don't feel like he has been spared that in the past either. But it's because this is part of his awakening. These tower moments are there to awaken him, to get him to do some forward movement in the right direction. So if, you know, if a person is not able to do it on their own in divinely guided connections and on divinely guided paths like this, then the universe conspires to help you out. And sometimes, you know, medicine doesn't come in our favorite flavors. It comes in the form of tower moments. So it can be very taxing. It can be exhausting, and it can even be traumatic in some ways. So it's very important to pay attention to rest and rejuvenation. It's important to stay connected to your higher self and not be so grounded in the 3D physical that, you know, these tower moments have such intense, immense impacts on you, because they do when you think from the 3D physical mind, right? That's normal. We're all human and it's to be expected. So that's where, you know, a connection to your higher self, a more spiritual approach will help you out there to put things into perspective. We had the heart chakra card come out here in the upright position, which is also showing that these heart chakra blockages that are coming from inner childhood wounds that are trying to protect this, you know, feminine and masculine from being hurt by love again, are being uprooted and cleared out. I heard breaking down the fortress. So these experiences and these emotions that these counterparts are going through are all geared toward breaking down that fortress that is built around the heart, that was originally intended to protect them from hurt in love, but that ultimately wound up keeping love out instead. So it served the opposite purpose and it hurt them more. So all of these things are on their way to being cleared out. That was a very intense read, you guys. The energy at the bottom of the deck here is the yin yang card. So today we got to see both cards that I most strongly associate with twin flame connections here. So if you are resonating with this reading and you're wondering, you know, is this person truly my twin flame, or is it just another, you know, kind of soul connection? With the Magician and the Mirror and the Yin Yang card both coming out in this reading, we have double confirmation that this is indeed a true twin flame connection that we are speaking to, which is why it is being so heavily, so highly divinely guided and protected. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading, and if it's resonating with you, please do let me know in the comments. I love to know whose energy I'm connecting with. I will close out this reading by channeling a higher self-love message from the Divine Feminine to the Masculine from the Rumi Oracle, and also from the Masculine to the Feminine using love message cards. So I'm going to just go ahead and pull the Rumi cards first here. I'm being called to this number 28 card, Enter the Garden of Delights. So this is the one that I will channel, but because the love messages are shorter, I'm going to start with this one first. Spirit, can I get a few love messages from the Masculine to the Feminine for this reading today? I'm gonna take, oh, that's plenty, okay. Yeah, so we had that this Divine Masculine was watching the Feminine on social media, and that was kind of keeping him stuck in a comfort zone as well, that he feels like he has some form of connection to her, so he's not feeling that need for forward movement as urgently, or maybe he is, but it's just, you know, that he's letting that fear get the best of him, and he's kind of in that mindset of, well, at least I can see her here. I feel like that definitely resonates more with the energy that I'm feeling. Not that he doesn't feel the urgency to communicate, because he definitely does. I do feel that. I want to go to a restaurant with you and have a nice dinner. Yes, so this Masculine is very much daydreaming about spending time with the Feminine. I want to cuddle and watch movies. Yes, so there's definitely a lot of desire for intimacy here. I also feel some sexual frustration. I love how I can confide in you. This Divine Masculine definitely seems to be feeling disconnected from true emotional connection that he didn't realize to what depth he shared with the feminine until they disconnected. I'm so comfortable with you. Yes, absolutely. Beautiful messages. So now for the Rumi poem here. This is also the number 28 card. So the number 28 itself, either as a date or as an age, or for some reason I'm seeing a building number, so maybe like an apartment number 28 might be significant here for someone. Enter the Garden of Delights. Are you aware that sweetness is found everywhere in town? Are you aware that winter is gone and spring has come around? Are you aware that sweet basil and the carnation are whispering in the garden and laughing about how simply everything is found? Are you aware the nightingale has come back from its flight, singing out messages of love to spread delight with every sound? Everything in the garden is granted the right from the divine court to appear for our delight. Everything is here to make the earth green and alive as a haven for our life. What remains buried in the soil will always endeavor to reach out. No one truly alive can ever be pawned to a prison or a tomb. Rumi. That is extremely synchronistic, you guys, about what we spoke on earlier, that this divine masculine cannot just one day up and disconnect from this third party. He needs to resolve those issues. Those issues cannot be buried. It is part of the karmic lesson that he has to learn here. It is part of that soul contract that has to fully end. So it is also up to the vibrational alignment of that divine masculine to be able to do so in a sooner rather than later time frame here. So I hope you all enjoyed tonight's reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do come by my Instagram and join me there as well. I run almost daily reading specials over there for my beautiful Twin Flame Soul Tribe. So if you would like to experience a mini reading special from me personally, that would be the place to do so. I will leave my handle in the description box. So definitely stop by there. That's also the place to purchase the affirmations if you would like them. My PayPal link and Cash App ID are in my bio, and as I said earlier, the affirmations are $55 up until April 7th. So all you have to do is send me a screenshot of proof of payment. If you use PayPal, please do send as friends and family. And so DM me the proof of payment and the email that you would like the PDF sent to, and I will send it to you after I receive those things. So thank you so much again for tuning in. I will talk to you all again in the next reading video. Good night, guys.